worrying thing really is that it's got so hot, it's melted off its entire plastic surround that it would have, but it's still not blown. The fuse is there for safety, and this nearly caused a fire.
We've had some pretty major problems during our trip, from exploding engines.
So we've got a major engine problem. Engine won't start. We're stuck on a hill in a very bad place.
Broken gearboxes.
Wetting my tits off.
Sweating you what off?
Everything. All the genitalia.
We've even had our windscreen explode as well.
That's a good video.
Oh yeah. What the fuck just happened?
I don't know, I'm hoping it's going to hold it just a little bit longer.
They were always fixable problems. Recently, we had a problem and it could have been game over for us for the trip for Ruby. If you watch our channel regularly, you'll know that we like to go to places that you probably shouldn't take a 47-year-old VW. And we had recently just driven completely off grid to go to this spectacular canyon in the middle of nowhere. And it was about an hour and a half of washboard road in both directions. And we did it without any problems, really. It was really enjoyable. The next part of our trip involved us driving across Peru to get to the city of Cusco in time for their Sun Festival, a celebration of the forming of their city. And it required us driving up and over the Andes multiple times to altitudes as high as 4,000 meters. About 13,000 feet. No easy going for a regular car, so quite tough for Ruby. Now we realised along the drive that she was overheating more than we probably would have expected her to be, especially as we got to the higher points. Problems with driving all of the dirt roads that we do is that they can be quite tough on Ruby. The vibrations cause things to come loose or to rub. And what we hadn't realised at the time is the reason why the fan had stopped working. And it was only the next morning when Willow went to investigate further that we realised just how lucky we had been.
So we discovered that out of the two supply lines to the fans, the cables down the bottom, only one of them had power, so it wasn't a fan problem or an earth problem. So obviously the next logical step is to check the fuse. It's pretty easy to get to, because if it's the relay, it's a hole, take everything out of the back. So I went in to check the fuse and I can show you what I found, which is this.
It's hard to focus on it because there we go. Well, that looks like part of a fuse.
Well, the worrying thing really is that it's got so hot, it's melted off its entire plastic surround that it would have, but it's still not blown. And it's got so hot that it's melted the fuse board, and now I'm going to have to try and move it to a different point on the board.
So the fuse fused itself.
Which is not great, because you would obviously think that, don't mind the cat, the fuse is there for safety, and this nearly caused a fire.
So we technically had an electrical fire.
I mean, I don't think it was flames, but the cupboard stinks of burning plastic, and now we need to try and move it. And the other thing is the fuse right next to this is also not looking so hot, and because it got so hot.
It's not an important fuse though, right?
And it's the entire engine management. So I'm gonna fix that, and this is a lesson in why you always carry a fire extinguisher.
We don't carry a fire
We
extinguisher.
have 2 fire extinguishers. Well, this is not the first time we've nearly had a fire this year, so.
Why is this quite a common problem, especially doing the roads that we do?
I mean, we do know why it's happened. So there's a blank piece of the insulation has been stripped off the fan wire underneath. I assume at some point I was testing it or I did something, and I would have taped it, but the tape's come off. So what it looks like is that when we've driven these really bumpy dirt roads, it's been like touching like this on the metal, and it's not given enough contact to blow the fuse, but it's done enough to get it very, very hot.
So washboard roads, everything comes loose, bolts, wires.
I mean, fairly regularly I check under the van because just major bolts, like the brakes the other day, the rear suspension come loose. It's just a constant dirt road, so.
It's a lesson and a very close encounter.
And why, yeah, you can't, it should be foolproof really, but sometimes fuses don't
rely on
blow
it
when they should.
And this is why you see so many images of camper vans on fire because of electrical fires.
You can have electrical fires, and it's not because someone says, oh, it's the wrong rated fuse. It's not the wrong rated fuse. It's not like it's a 40 amp fuse for a 5 amp fan or anything like that. It's the correct fuse, and it still hasn't acted like a fuse.
And that, as we say in the industry, is buggered, mate.
With the fans fixed, we made it to Cusco in time to grab a quick drink and watch the celebrations begin.
Rolf, are you ready to party?
Party? I'm ready to watch other people party with my water.
You hit the craft beers a bit hard last night, right?
It was very strong. I think it was like 9%, plus we're 3,600 meters, so it's like.
Right, let's go see some ancient rituals.
Yeah.
After you. So we are staying on a campground called Quinta Lala. It's the go-to place for campers, and it is right next to where the main festival is, so win-win. As always, we are super underprepared, literally rocking up the evening before. Apparently for the main grounds you need a ticket. We don't have one. Our friend's car to consume at the Brown Van Life said there's a free hill you can stand on, but they've been here since like 9 o'clock, so I'm not convinced we're gonna get a good view.
As the crowds continued to pour in, there wasn't many places left to find a good view.
So we're just going to try and randomly find a high spot to try and watch it. And we're in the company of like proper YouTubers who aren't recording off a phone. Yeah, check this camera out.
That's the real thing.
Got a good view?
Yeah, not bad. After the first attempt,
You're too stumpy.
we went
You need
over
to grow,
that
Rob.
hill over there. Expecting like a riot or something. Inti Raymi, also known as the Festival of the Sun, was one of the most important religious ceremonies of the Inca Empire in ancient Peru. It honoured Inti, the sun god, and marked the winter solstice, symbolising the renewal of the sun's energy. The modern Inti Raymi celebration is a reenactment of the ancient Inca ceremony, which was banned during the Spanish colonisation. The event was revived in 1944 and has become one of the largest and most significant cultural festivals in Peru. The central part of the ceremony takes place at the Sacsayhuaman ruins, where an actor portrays the Inca emperor along with the high priests and priestesses. They perform ancient rituals offering thanks to Inti for the harvest and seeking blessings for the coming year.
Inti Raymi VW Kombi.
Beautiful cobbled street here in Cusco, but not so nice to walk on.
No, why's that?
You probably can't really see, but it's pebbles and they're polished, and I have nearly broken my arse like every single time we've walked down this hill.
Right.
Taxi coming up it last
Lead
night
the way.
was like wheel spinning on it. You can't really see how steep it is. Maybe if you go that, like,
No, you can.
can you see?
You can.
My shoes aren't grippy.
Slip, 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 slip.
Cusco's a bit of a dream if you like veggie, vegan food, and it's not that often we eat out, but we couldn't really help ourselves here, and you don't often see this. So let's go eat something.
I might go too fast.
Next one.
I don't care about those limits. 'Cause I want this to last like nothing ever lasts before. I might go too fast.
And aggressive.
Suddenly I feel so rich. Though I don't know nothing. Oh, I can't let this slip, no. I gotta seize the moment. Have you even noticed? Are you thinking about me? Are you thinking about me? I'm having a hard time not doing anything other than thinking about you. So are you thinking about me? 'Cause I've been thinking about you.
I'm ready for this. Dig in.
You're gonna have to tell me twice. I can do it. I can do it. There we go.
If you made it this far, thank you very much for watching. Make sure you're subscribed and you turn those notifications on so you never miss one of our videos. And if you want to follow more of our trip, why not check out this playlist here.